Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Let's talk about some uncivilized mutts who, without a warrant, entered a man's house and gunned him down after rousing him from his sleep. The man's name is Mando Salmon. 12 thought it would be just another routine cold-blooded murder of a black man, and they would walk off into the sunset. That is, until investigators started really investigating. Initially, the investigators claimed that Mando was killed after he refused multiple commands and reached for a gun, but that turned out to be a lie. Then they said he was killed after he threw an object at them, but investigators did not specify what the object was. It was not until more than a year later, after a grand jury indicted the two DeKalb County police officers, that the public learned the truth. And the truth was, the object was a cell phone. But even then, the police still insisted they thought it was a knife. Last week, Mando's family filed a lawsuit against DeKalb County and the two former police officers, Russell Mathis, the shooter, and Jordan M. Vance, accusing them of violating his constitutional rights by entering his home without a warrant. Defendant Mathis violated Mr. Salmon's rights under the Fourth Amendment when he unlawfully trespassed in Salmon's home with force of arms, assaulted him, and shot him. No reasonable officer could have believed that Mathis's use of deadly force against an unarmed Salmon was constitutional. Defendant Vance conspired in, participated in, and contributed to the constitutional violations committed by Mathis. This tragedy goes beyond a simple mistake or misunderstanding, Attorney Michael Neff said in a statement to the Atlantic Journal-Constitution. It represents an unacceptable choice of DeKalb County to follow its policies and procedures rather than properly limit when the officer can enter a home without a warrant. Here's the backstory. The incident took place on November 4th, 2022, after DeKalb County Police received a call about a stolen car parked in a residential driveway. The car had been stolen from a dealer weeks earlier after it was taken for a test drive and never returned. Mathis and Vance pulled up to the home and spotted the car in the driveway. They then walked up to the front door and knocked, but there was no answer. However, the door was unlocked. So guess what these two short bus window licking, one shoe heel taller than the next, brilliant idiots did? They walked their happy asses into the man's house despite not having a warrant because they thought a departmental policy allowed them to. I don't believe it. I think they walked in because they thought that they were above the law. They got the uniform on so they can do whatever they want to do. That's what that was about. The man was asleep. When he heard the disturbance, he raised up out of his sleep, sitting on the bed, and he threw the phone at these fools. And dude opened up on him, shot him multiple times, straight up gunned him down. Question, fam. If you're innocent, why do you have to lie about the circumstances that led to the shooting? Why do you have to lie? Why do you have to say that you thought it was a knife? And why do you insist that it was a knife? When did a cell phone ever look like a knife? They have to stop these no-knock warrants, and they have to stop these warrantless searches because they are treading on people's rights and they are terrorizing communities all over this country. primarily communities where black folks live and other people. The department does have a policy that allows them to execute warrantless searches, but they're only permitted where speed is essential to the accomplishment of lawful police action. They're only permitted where speed is essential to the accomplishment of lawful police action. Y'all think that speed was required for them to crack the case of who stole the car? The car was allegedly stolen weeks ago. It's sitting in a driveway. At this point, they don't know if some youngsters or somebody drove the car and parked it in the driveway and took off, or if one of the occupants inside of the house was driving the car. And they didn't know who inside of the house was driving the car. So, and they didn't care. They saw they had a black man in the crosshairs. I need to get this kill in right quick. He had no practice in a while. So anyway, fam, the sister of the victim said that he told her he had rented the car because his truck broke down. So he couldn't go to work, so he rented the car. How it ends up not being returned is anybody's guess, but that's besides the point. The point is, these Keystone cops had no right to go into that man's house and murder him, to execute him. So here's how it turned out for the officers. Mathis resigned before he could get fired. Vance got fired after they were indicted. So what are the charges? The shooter, Mathis, was indicted on charges of involuntary manslaughter, a felony, and reckless conduct, a misdemeanor. Vance was charged with reckless conduct. These clowns are awaiting trial. Y'all be careful out there, fam, because there are uncivilized mutts out there masquerading as police officers, and they will down you if they get a chance. No more talk.